one of the countless villages and towns the Tour de France passes through. People lining the roads throughout the entire route. This is the lead group now at the base of the only climb of the day, the Col de Mur.
It really hurts when you hit a climb like this after a long breakaway, because you've been riding along at around about 30 miles an hour, then all of a sudden you have to change from using big gears to slightly smaller gears, and the gradient really does start to hurt the legs quite a bit. Every time it slows down, Phil, the man coming to the front is Daniel Nardello, obviously trying to prepare it for Taffy. Look how Taffy keeps dropping off the back of the group by 3 or 4 lengths. I think he's planning to try and launch an attack fairly shortly.
Well, both Daniel Nardello and Stefan Erlo and Garcia Acosta could find themselves moving up into high places in the top 10 if this breakaway holds this sort of time gap over the field to the finishing line. Because best place at the moment is Erlo, he's 20th, 7 minutes 56 seconds back. 21st is Nardello at 8 minutes 26, and then comes Garcia Acosta, he's 24th at 10 minutes 21 seconds. So we are now on the plateau, which will lead to the steep section of the Col de Mors. And Marty Jemison looking as strong as anybody else in this breakaway right now.
So Jemison and the lead group up ahead, but back near the head of the peloton, that's Luc Leblanc, the former world champion, who now attacks at
56 kilometers today. It is split up, there were 12, there's now 6 riders up the road, including Andrea Taffy and Daniel Nardello and Stefan Erlo, and there they are down there at the moment. They're approximately 2.5 kilometers from the summit of the Col de Murs. And in between, a rather audacious attack coming from Luc Leblanc, who's lying 6th overall. He's gone ahead of the main field, and at the moment is gaining time. He's around about 3.5 minutes.
The call of Bill Liggett.
Well, a massive crowd as they come up towards the summit of the Col du Mur. And we expected an attack from the Banesto rider. He was rather on his own there as the Spanish rider in the breakaway. There's the Spanish flag flying. And Andrea Taffy is also getting up amongst it now. The only man to have won a stage in the race last year in the Tour of Spain in this breakaway is the Spanish rider from Banesto. And he's gone over the top of the Col in the lead, with Taffy gritting his teeth but hanging on. But Stefan Erlo bringing over the rest. There really is no gap much at all, so I think they're going to come back together.
Pressure on the front of this group now, trying to pull it back, was coming from Stefan Erlo. US postal rider Marty Jemison was comfortably in that group of 4 riders as well. Meanwhile, Luc Leblanc, wearing 141, riding for Team Polti, trying to hold on to the slight advantage he's got. But you know, the alarm bells for the sprint at the end.
With mind games being played at this moment, let's check today's race summary, brought to you by Degree Antiperspirant and Deodorant. The riders went into attack mode again today as a 17-man group escaped from the field just after the start. As the field closed, attacks and counterattacks took place, finally generating a 12-man break. That break split, and now 6 men, including American Marty Jemison, have a 3-minute lead on the field with 6 miles to the finish line. Telecom, of course, leading the peloton most of the way, trying to chase down those breaks.
Chance at last to look at the main field here, but nobody helping except Cofidis. Well, having said that, there's a Rabobank rider. The finish now as we look for the kilometre to go banner. Now nobody wants to work, you see. They're slowing down now, and here comes the first move. This is Nardello. He's gone very early, I think, and Taffy won't go after him. He's seen his teammate go. He's going to hold back as long as he can. Daniel Nardello has gone. He's gone very, very early. They would not have expected it that early, Paul.
They certainly wouldn't. That was a good move. You see how Taffy moved up into 2nd place to try and slow them down, but there has been a reaction. It's come from Garcia Acosta, the Banesto rider, and he's pulled Nardello back. So they tried to surprise them. Good move by Nardello and a nice attempt by Taffy to try and close it down, but it didn't work. And Nardello back in the pack, still 6 men. Marty Jemison in 5th place, just trying to loosen up those thighs. They're going to be very heavy after a day like this. And Garcia Acosta moving over to the right-hand side so he can have a look at the faces of the other riders in this group. The red kite now, Phil, telling them there's 1 kilometre remains to the finish.
Well, I thought that was it. I really did. He seemed to do it just right, but then out of the trees came the Spanish rider, Vicente Garcia Acosta, brought them all back together again. Now we are going to have a sprint, and it's who gets the jump, gets the victory, I think, here now. Marty Jemison is in a good position, lying at the back of the group here. He's going to have to open up the sprint, I think, if he wants to move up towards the leaders in the last 500 or 600 meters. Stefan Erlo is the man who's trapped on the front of the line, and Koos Morenhout is the rider in second place. And Morenhout, never been in this quality of a finish before in his life, might be the big surprise. Now, can Marty Jemison go?
But Jemison's in the ideal position. He's in 6th spot. He can keep an eye on every other rider in this breakaway. Herlo is the man who's going to have to lead it out. Morenhout, the Dutchman, in 2nd place. He's bound to be a good finisher. All Dutchmen know how to finish off a breakaway like this. But Marty Jemison, for me, Phil, may well cause the big surprise, because he's sitting there. He's got a good finish when it comes down to something like this. And being a professional since 1994, he will have been able to conserve just a little bit of energy.
Well, Stefan Erlo, and there's a paper come across his head here, which just blew onto his head. Nothing you can do about that. He's going to ride with it on. He's blown away. Now Nardello's coming over on the shoulder here. Daniel Nardello has still got the legs after that attack. Stefan Erlo is trying to get his back wheel. Kees Morenhout is trying to get on in 3rd place. Now, as they start to line up for the finish, this is a fantastic sprint by Nardello. He's holding them off as Erlo tries to come. Jemison's on the far right. Now they're fanning out. I don't think Nardello's going to do it, because it looks like Vicente is so close. Well, he's got it right on the line, but it was ever so close, and a very, very good sprint finish indeed by Daniel Nardello. It was close, but he was clearly the best finisher, and he held them off all of the way to the line. As we can look again now of that sprint, a long lead out here by a man who obviously believed in his own strength today. Daniel Nardello giving the Mapai again back-to-back stage wins. As Erlo looked at this point, he might overhaul him, and so too on